Good evening and blessings, everybody out there. What's going on? It's your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Listen, coming to you here on this Thursday evening, just getting back in town, just getting back from Louisville. But I wanted to get on tonight. We are coming to the end of October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so we want to make sure that ladies, that you are going out there getting your annual checkups, right? But again, in addition to getting your annual checkup, please make sure that you're doing a checkup on your insurance policies. Why is that? Because, and that's what I'm here to talk about tonight. We want to make sure that, God forbid, if something does happen, that you are properly protected. So listen, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it because it is late. But look, I want to talk a little bit about the living benefits that come with insurance. Now, again, I'm going to help you now. Not all insurance policies have these. I was reviewing with an agent tonight a competitor's policy when it came to the living benefits. So first of all, let me explain what the living benefits mean. It's a slang term that we have in the insurance industry for the accelerated death benefit rider. Now, what does that mean? All that means is they are going to give you your death benefit while you're still alive, right? If you are diagnosed with a critical, chronic, and or terminal illness and or injury, they're going to give you up to a certain percentage of your death benefit while you're still alive, right? We call that the living benefits because it just sounds a lot better than the accelerated death benefit rider, right? So again, what the living benefits do within your policy, if something should happen to you, right? And there's typically four categories that that it falls under when it comes to the living benefits. The first one is the terminal illness. And so with this particular policy that we looked at it had the accelerated death benefit riders, but the only one that it had was the terminal illness rider. And what that means is if you're diagnosed by a physician where they say you have X amount of time before you go to the upper room, right? That's basically what it means. It's terminal. Now, when I looked at my competitor's policy was 6 months. Like, so if you were getting ready to go to the upper room in 6 months or less, they would give you up to 40% of your death benefit, right? So let's put some numbers to it, right? If you had a $100,000 death benefit policy and they said, hey, man, you get up to 40% because you go into the upper room within 6 months, then guess what? That means you'll get about $40,000. Does that make sense, right? $40,000. Now, here we go. Our carriers, their terminal illness goes out to 24 months. So almost 2 years, literally 2 years. So you can still get up to 80% of your death benefit while you're still alive. Come on here, somebody. Can you see how we doubling your pleasure? So let's put some numbers to it. If you have a $100,000 insurance policy, that means you can get up to $80,000 of that. Now, y'all know realistically, we've already had these conversations. Listen, you need to make sure that you have at least $500,000 worth of insurance, period, and point blank. That is the reason for term insurance, right? And with our policies, term insurance allows you to do that. Term life insurance will allow you to do that. And so that's why we have these conversations. I don't just get on here for my health, but I really, really want people to be informed on what is actually out there. Now, so again, score one for the good guys on us, again, with this policy that we were looking at. So again, our terminal illness literally goes out 4 times more than this, out to 2 years rather than just 6 months. All right. The next one that we'll talk about is the chronic illness. Now, this is something like where you cannot perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living, right? What is that? That's bathing yourself. That's getting out of the bed. That's not being able to utilize the restroom properly, right? If you cannot handle your business, right? If you can't cook for yourself, you can't, go out and do and take care of your own finances and things of that nature. Again, that's called a chronic illness. And what happens with that, it gives you a specific amount of money a month, right? It gives you money every month while you're going through what you're going through. And in certain cases, watch this now, it doesn't just deplete your death benefit. In certain cases, it comes from another bucket. and it gives it to you for a period of time so that your death benefit is still intact. Somebody ought to say something. But again, that's what we do. And guess what? Our competitor didn't even have it. Wasn't nowhere near that. All right. So that's what we have. The third we'll talk about is a critical illness. A critical illness is like a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something to that factor, right? Some kind of where you got to have triple bypass surgery or something like that, right? You have to now start doing dialysis, things of that nature. That's considered a critical illness. And so then you would get access to that death benefit, right? Where they would give you, again, up to 80% of that death benefit while you're still alive, right? My competitors didn't even have it, folks. Didn't even have it, folks. I'm sitting here like, ooh, strike. Well, another one for the good guys, right? And then we have number 4, which is the critical injury. Now, this is the one that competes with the company with the goose. I'll say it like that. It got these other folk on it, and it got the little thing out there, and it got the little okay. Yeah, this is the one that really, really competes with all of what we do competes with them, but this one specifically, this is the one where if you're in a coma, you're riding down the road, somebody T-bone you, now you're in the hospital. You wake up in the hospital. You're paralyzed. Again, some sort of critical injury, some kind of traumatic brain injury, things of that nature, right? Those are the kind of things where, again, they'll turn around and give you up to 80% of your death benefit while you're still alive. And then, last but not least, I have one carrier. And that individual has an Alzheimer's living benefit. And what they'll do is they'll give you a specific amount of money a month to make sure that the person who has Alzheimer's is able to stay in a facility where they're not going to be a danger to themselves. And that's critical. And that one there's kind of personal to me because even my mother in her last days, she started going through that. And, you know, that's an ugly ailment for people to go through. But again, it's happening more and more and more and more. And so the fact that we have insurance companies that recognize, hey, these are some serious issues. Let's make sure that we take care of this. And they go forth and they're willing to give you this money up front. Folks, that is the value of having the new life insurance. And that's why we're super pleased to be out here offering this to our friends, our families, our loved ones, to our community, right? Let me say this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to get off, right? I understand, right? I understand that a lot of times people don't like talking about life insurance. I get it. It is not the most sexiest conversation to the normal folk. I love talking about life insurance. I do. I really do, because I know the power of it. I know how it's actually able to help people. So I don't mind talking about life insurance. But normal folk, I'll just say it like that, do not like talking about life insurance. But here's what you got to understand. Not having that conversation does not preclude you from not facing tragic situations. I'm talking to a previous coworker, and we had been talking, and there was an individual that I talked to some time ago about getting insurance, and said, well, I want to think about it. I said, okay, mother. Kept asking, hey, mother ready? No. I got word this week that mother had a stroke, and now mother's whole side is not active. Breaks my heart, right? It breaks my heart because if I get this news and she's a client, I now make a phone call. And when I make this phone call to the carrier, this gets the ball moving for her to get living benefits. And now what mother is going through, even though she's going through it, money is not an issue. Somebody's not trying to figure out who got to do this and who got to do that and how we're going to do this, that, and the mother's standard of living is better. All because she had a conversation with me or one of the generational wealth builders, and she got the new insurance, the new life insurance that had the living benefits. Folks, y'all see it there. Living Benny's Rock. Please, please, people. We're getting ready to go. Look here. 2024 dead and gone. Right? Couple more days we'll be in November. Then y'all gonna be out there fighting in them streets for Black Friday and all that there. Y'all, it's dead and gone. Right? Then we're gonna be lying again, telling these New Year's lies, right? But don't let life insurance, don't go into this new year with the old life insurance. Please don't. Please, please don't. So much stuff is happening to people right now, and they're expecting to have a certain amount of insurance and they don't. And I'm just going to be honest, not every insurance agent makes sure you understand what you have, right? We want to make sure that you know what you have, because it's our goal to make sure, because once you become a client of ours, we're family. We're going to check in on you. We're going to make sure you're straight. We're going to make sure you have everything that you need. And so with that being said, I just want to make sure I ain't here for long. I'm going to get out of here. But I want you to look at your policy. Ask yourself, do you understand it? If you don't understand it, book an appointment with me. Listen, I'm not here to sell you nothing. I'm not a salesman. I'm not. Because I just want to make sure you know what you have. And I just want to make sure that you're okay with what you have. And if you say, Rob, I'm good with what I have, then guess what? I'm good with what you have as well, right? But please, please take a look at your insurance policy. You heard me say it earlier. If you don't have at least $500,000 worth of insurance, you're cheating yourself, unless you got money somewhere else. If you don't have at least $500,000 worth of insurance, you're cheating yourself, right? You've got to make sure that you are properly protected. And if your policy does not have the living benefits, and I'm talking about the terminal illness, the chronic illness, the critical and illness and injury rider, and even the Alzheimer's rider, if your living benefits don't have that, you're cheating yourself. All right. Well, look, that's my time tonight. May the Lord bless all of y'all out there. It's your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Remember, knowledge is not power until it is applied. You can have an 18-wheeler truck that's gassed up, ready to go. But I guarantee you, it ain't going nowhere until you apply that clutch and put it in gear. Y'all have a good night, and may the Lord bless you and yours. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.